guys, welcome to the 12th Esports World Championship Asian Qualifier. Today we'll be covering Central Asia and Middle East. I am your commentator, Downright Fierce. Alright, so for today, again, I mentioned we're going to be covering Central Asia and Middle East, but for the Asian Qualifier, we're splitting up the region in 4 different ways, and each one will have different slots to make it to the end of the Asian Qualifier. Alright. So for South Asia, we have India, represented by Tijan. I'm very, very excited for that match that will come up. And then we'll have Nepal and Sri Lanka competing for that single slot in South Asia. For East Asia, we have Chinese Taipei, Hong Kong, Mongolia, and South Korea. And now South Korea is going to be represented by Chanel, the Alyssa player to watch, and 2 slots will be given to this region. For Central Asia and Middle East, we have the United Arab Emirates, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan competing for 1 slot. Southeast Asia will have Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, and Brunei competing for a single slot. Now for Indonesia, we've seen a lot of the D-Rival players play, but who's to say? Now for this tournament, it will be a round robin. That's right, each of these countries will be competing against each other in a round-robin format, best of 3 for that single slot in their region. So again, United Arab Emirates, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan for a single slot right there to make it to the finals. All right, and our first match will have Kyrgyzstan versus Kazakhstan, Greatest DJ versus Dante Solo PS. Now for the first match, not too familiar names in the international scene, but compared to what we've seen, it looks like Kazakhstan has the upper hand in terms of knowledge, whereas Kyrgyzstan may be a bit lacking behind, but Tekken 7 is all about whiff punishing and making and capitalizing the most out of your opponent's mistakes. Right? So before we go on into our games, I'd like to thank the sponsors that make this tournament possible. First, we have Eilat, Escape to the Sun, as the host city and main sponsor. Maccabi World Union, the main hosting partner. Israeli Esports Association as another main hosting partner. And MCST, the IESF partner. Right? Thank you so much, guys, for making this tournament possible. It's always good to see more fighting games out there and about, and it wouldn't be possible without you guys. So, our first game we're waiting on is against Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan, Dante Solo PS, and then we'll have Greatest DJ fighting each other. And again, it seemed like Kazakhstan had the upper hand in terms of knowledge, but who's to say when, if your opponent makes a mistake, that's what really matters in Tekken. Getting the whiff punishes and capitalizing the most out of it. Making sure that the damage that you do on your opponent's mistakes is as high as possible. You want to make sure that they're very afraid to press a button at all. It's not about the pressure, it's about making sure you keep your opponent in check all the time, right? That is the most important part about Tekken. That and movement, which we'll hopefully see a lot of. Again, it being in the online sphere, it's pretty difficult to consistently move and such. Even seeing how Book from Thailand in the last online qualifier did not want to play his Jin at all. He decided to opt for, I believe, different characters entirely outside of his range, and just decided to play a different character. Oh, it looks like we are going into our match right now. I'm very excited to see what characters they pull out here. Okay, so we have Dante Solo PS pulling out the Paul and a Leroy. Okay, Leroy was definitely a character to see in a tournament. A lot of people have been switching to him, even though he got nerfed after EVO Japan. But it looks like we are going to have a Leroy on fighting on Kyrgyzstan's behalf. Meanwhile, in Kazakhstan, they have a Paul. All right, so now seeing from their stats here, this is online stats. It's not really a full tale of how these players play. But already Forbidden Temple, this is going to be a lot of floor breaks. Both players actually have very good floor break combos right here. And it looks like Yeah, it looks like Kyrgyzstan is getting some hits already in there. Okay, the shoulder could have been punished if it was blocked. Nothing's going to happen though. Get away from the wall. Leroy needs to make sure his back is not against the wall. That is a very dangerous position if you're fighting Paul. Tekken actually a very patient game. Oh, he got the duck into a very good punish there. Is he going to go for the floor break? He doesn't dash up fast enough for the low. But a good poke, natural combo from the low into the high. We'll get that. Okay, so now Dante Solo VS down around, but that's not saying much because Paul is a very explosive player. Each hit will count. Okay, so again, this is what you're going to see a lot from Tekken. A lot of patient play. Creating some space, looking for the whip punish. And there's the first floor break, first of 3. Okay, the spinner, gonna go for the wall. Yeah, he goes for the floor break combo again, but he already used it. He'll have to go for a reset if he wanted that. Okay, getting out of the wall. Okay, there we go, Demo Man against the wall. That's a huge amount of damage. Right, good punish on the spring kick, but could have launched, was not ready for it. Another Demo Man, he has to watch his feet. And a mid-check caught him pressing an attack button while getting up. Is gonna get that round for Kazakhstan. Okay. Into stance. Plus frames. Keeping his turn. Yeah, Kyrgyzstan is just making sure that Paul can't press a button. And he's doing a very good job of it. Mid-check again. Make sure he isn't ducking. There's a shoulder. A good wall splat. Even though that looked like a side wall splat. Still manages to get the combo. Floor break. Easy death fist. Not going to be a lot of damage, but just a simple follow-up. Okay, here's the launch combo. This could lead him to the wall. He goes for the floor break. Okay, no more floor breaks from here. Wall combo. Mid-check. And there we go. Sealed the game off. Making sure he can't get up in a favorable position. Okay. Good mid-check right there. Float. Not going to be able to capitalize with that sweep. Got him on a hit. Still decided to wake up button while standing. So he's going to get that launch. Goes for maximum wall carry. Not a full splat. Gonna be patient right here. He has the round lead. He's gonna be able to seal this round if he finishes this combo. Oh, he goes for that. Oh, okay, that is guaranteed at that spot. If he goes for that punch, that jab straight into the kick, it is guaranteed in that situation. All right, so that was our first game. Kyrgyzstan taking it with a Leroy. Not surprised at all that a Leroy is on for a tournament set, especially an online tournament. Very solid character, very good character. But Paul is definitely not one to shy around as well in this pick because each hit he can do. If he has the rage drive, if he has rage at all, he can make every hit count. He can kill you in a single combo, and it is paramount that you do not let Paul play. So what we saw from Kyrgyzstan, where he just kept the pressure, low pokes, mid checks, not really checking for full combos or going for anything wild, that's the sort of play style you want to do against a Paul who is willing to roll the dice and just hit you out of anything. But we saw Kyrgyzstan punish Kazakhstan every time. Even though that Kazakhstan had the pressure, he still woke up, pressed the button, still got that launcher, and just made the most out of it. And that is very important in a Tekken set, that you have to make each hit count, each launcher, each combo. You have to make the most out of your situation. And as for the stage pick, it would definitely favor Paul more if the walls were closer. But with floor break stage, we saw Leroy take it out there. But if we wanted a stage to really equalize the situation, maybe an infinite stage would be good. But again, the stages are all random select in this tournament. They will not be able to pick, but loser can change characters. So Kazakhstan might be able to change up from Paul and go into a different character. But honestly, it looks like he's comfortable with Paul. We didn't see a lot of launch combos. We saw some simple death fist, no raw death fist, no rage drives just yet, actually. Both players not really capitalizing off of those resources. And everything you get in that game is really important, especially rage. Even if you don't pop rage drive or rage art, you still get unskilled 1 damage per hit, and that is very good. But using that rage drive and everything would really help in the game. But it looks like we're going into our second game right now. Again, this is the best of 3. So right now as it stands, Kyrgyzstan is looking to take the game if he wins this set, right? And again, these stats don't matter. Most of these guys would actually play offline, so all these Ds and Cs that you're seeing, not really a fit for what they actually do. But we have G-Corp, Helipad, so the walls, hopefully we don't see a lot of weird side splats. If there is 2 wall breaks, 1 on either side, it could be a lot of damage if either of them get that situation going on. Alright, neutral start. Kyrgyzstan straight away going for the hits right there. Pushing him against the wall. He does not want this. Kazakhstan has to get out of there. Okay, there's low. The wall, gonna be able to capitalize. No throw break! Okay, situation, and then he goes for the low right there. Just gonna make sure that he can't press a button or anything like that. Just check him. Don't want to wake up Crouch. Hey, wow, caught him pressing a button. This is gonna be big damage. The wall is right behind him. Optimal, okay. In that situation, that's the most you can do. Okay, yeah, he needs to get his back off the wall. This is where Paul really shines. Throwing him back against the wall. Orbital heal will take it though, but not a full conversion. Okay, sweet counter hit. It's not ready for it. Does not dash far enough to get the wall. Okay, the jab. Gonna nat combo if he can actually hit confirm from that. And stance kick will take that. So it looks like Kyrgyzstan wants this game really quick. Looking for a no-round round. Looking to just take every single round for himself. And this relentless offense coming on right now. Kazakhstan needs to find an answer. Needs to poke out. Needs to sidestep or do something. He needs to figure out when to duck these attacks. Okay, sway into a hit. Okay, back against the wall. This wall break could be big. But stance. Gotta be very careful to throw out the low. Oh, but a nat combo again. The low into the high. Caught him pressing a button. And there we go. Our first match going on. Kyrgyzstan will be able to get 1 point in this round robin. So it looks like Kyrgyzstan and Kyrgyzstan moves up. It's going to be a round robin though, so we're going to see these players fight again. And there's a whole bunch of matches going on, despite how many regions are in this area. Again, because it's a round robin, each player has to fight each other. So our next match will be UAE versus Uzbekistan. And I've already said a little bit about Uzbekistan, how I'm feeling that they're a bit more of the favorite pick right now in this qualifier for this region. That and Kyrgyzstan. Obviously, we saw Kyrgyzstan doing pretty solid. He brought in Leroy, but I'm not 100% certain what characters we're gonna be seeing in this next match. Whether they be following the meta, who knows? Maybe we'll see a Julia, maybe we'll see a Fakrumran. But we already saw a Leroy out there and a Paul, so I'm pretty happy with those picks. If we see something like a Jin or maybe a low tier pick like Yoshimitsu, it'd be very, very interesting to see what kind of characters they pick for the region and all this. But again, if the player loses, he can switch characters. So we're going to just take a quick look at the scoreboard right there. Look, Kyrgyzstan is already up 1 point, 1 match win, and he gets 3 points. So he's going to go into that. And we already see tomorrow's qualifiers coming up. We'll have Brunei, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam tomorrow. So guys, be sure to catch that going on. As for our next match, again, I've mentioned we'll have UAE versus Uzbekistan, United Arab Emirates, yes. And seeing from everything there, so we're gonna just quickly see what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do there. All right. So we're gonna take a small break right now. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Be sure to stay tuned for our next match. See you then. All right, guys, welcome back to the Eilat 12th Esports World Championship Asian Qualifiers 2020. Now, before we go on to talk about our next game, I'd like to thank sponsors Eilat, Escape to the Sun as our host city and main sponsor, Maccabi World Union, main hosting partner, Israeli Esports Association as well, main hosting partner, and MCST, IESF partner. Now, our second game will have United Arab Emirates versus Uzbekistan playing in the second game. And we've already seen our first game, Kyrgyzstan versus Kazakhstan. Kyrgyzstan coming up top, taking that first point. There we see on the board. So, United Arab Emirates, sorry, pardon my tongue, versus Uzbekistan. Now, earlier we saw on the test matches and everything, we saw Uzbekistan playing quite confidently, but we've yet to see UAE pull the big stops here. And there we see we have Sultan representing UAE, and for Uzbekistan we have the opponent right there, Sanjurum Manov. Sorry, forgive me if I butcher your name. I'm really bad at that. Anyway, so for this game, we saw a variety of characters being pulled out by the players. We saw so far are Leroy and Paul, but who knows if these characters are their main. We do tend to see players change characters depending on the environment, especially online or offline, them favoring certain matchups or certain players, like certain tools that each character has. But Tekken at the end of the day is all about whiff punishing and movement, which we didn't get to see too much of in the first game. because Kyrgyzstan was taking his turn and staying on top of his opponent, making sure he could not press a button, which is closer to what we see in sort of Pakistan play and what's predominantly the more aggressive sort of play. But who's to say? We could see a variation of play between each country, but we have yet to see all the countries play out. And again, we're going to have two completely countries we haven't seen on stream now, United Arab Emirates and Uzbekistan. So for Tekken right now, the big meta apparently is just being able to whiff punish and throw out very fast lows, something like Snake Edge. No, Snake Edge is not really a fast low, but War Drums for Julia, 3-4, and just really big things that capitalizes off of wall hits. Getting hit with the perfectly spaced 3-4 from Julia War Drums is just going to be a terrible, terrible time against with your back against the wall. And that's just the sort of thing that you're going to be seeing a lot. You have Fakumram with his full crouch sweep into a launcher. That will always be a very scary thing to see. But again, there's always drawbacks to these buttons. For example, Julia War Drums being able to launch punish if she does the follow-up. Fakumram, if you block that low hit on the first hit before the launcher, he will be in a stagger state. You will be able to launch punish him. These are just sort of some of the things that you have to expect to know when you're playing Tekken 7, and you have to be able to capitalize off of. So again, we're going to be going into our second game, UAE versus Uzbekistan. And there we have Sultan using Hwoarang and a Mishima coming up on top right now. That is some very interesting stuff right here. So looks like we're going to have UAE using Hwoarang. And look at that. He's been playing a lot online. You see those ranks coming up. Again, they don't mean too much here in an offline, in a tournament setting, because those stats are predominantly from past matches and all that and can be changed very, very easily. It looks like they'll be going back into the loading screen for a moment. Tends to happen with time, but it's okay. It's Tekken 7. We're going to have that match come up again really quick, but I just want to talk about that matchup right now. So if we're talking about Hwoarang and versus Kazuya, Mishimas tend to not have great pokes, which is a sort of weakness, but Mishimas are highly regarded as top tier, especially being buffed this patch. Your health sweep can track. If you do a perfect Electric Wind God Fist now, which is a launching high, you'll be able to hit a sidestepping opponent, and those are some of the best combos you can do right now. Health sweep, especially with your back against the wall, you're going to be able to get huge damage with wall damage right there. So if we're going to be seeing that match again, having the wall against a Mishima is not a great thing. Hopefully, it'll be a bit better on the Hwoarang side, but who's to say? Now, Hwoarang, though, he has a wide variety of tools. He has his mix-up game in stances. Now, this is primarily a sort of weakness in a sense because his good pokes and all are, well, they're mostly kicks and they reach pretty far, but if he whiffs, you're going to eat a huge launch punish, and it's going to be a very, very bad time as a Hwoarang. But once you get that knockdown, once you get that set play going, he's going to be able to change stances and keep in your face, and you're just going to have to guess at times, especially when you're playing online. It's very hard to react to some of this stuff. Now, we talked about how both players really capitalize off of just having the knockdown and mixing them up, especially the Mishima side, which is very famous for doing that. But Hwoarang can sort of set up his game as well. Last time we saw on during another online qualifier how the Philippine players tend to use Hwoarang and Shaheen, heavy 50-50 mix-up characters in neutral, and it sort of worked out in an online environment. Who's to say that's going to work out now? But one thing's for sure is that Mishimas are very execution heavy, meaning that each combo and each hit they're doing requires precise timing, good knowledge, and good matchup knowledge in general. So they're going to have to figure out how to capitalize off of every single hit very, very well. And it's very difficult for a Mishima to do that properly in case he drops. Then again, there are easier combos, but real Mishimas will actually just do the most they can. They'll decide whether they want to do the wall carry, want to capitalize damage. It really depends on the sort of stage setting that they get. But Kazuya is a man who has a lot of tools in just being able to throw the opponent in a mix-up no matter what, and just being able to capitalize off of every single bit of hits they get, especially off a hell sweep back against the wall. And Electric Wind God Fist back against the wall, if they hit that, they're going to be extremely an advantage. They're going to be able to just sit, the opponent has to sit down and block, and the Kazuya can just crouch dash in his face and keep the momentum and pressure up. And it is a terrifying thing if your back is against a wall as a Mishima. It is going to be a terrible, terrible time. Meanwhile, the Hwoarang, he does have a Just Frame Skyrocket launcher. He does have some safe moves. He has 2 power crushes in his arsenal. But that's whether if the Kazuya is going to try to fight for his turn and Hwoarang attempts to sort of trap him in a state where he can press a button or cannot, but makes the most of Kazuya trying to get out of his space. And that's where Hwoarang can really shine in that sense. Again, though, the 2 power crushes, one is unsafe, it's a mid. So if he does block that, he will be able to get a launch punish. And the other one is a high, so if he can duck it, another launch punish. You're going to have to commit to every normal and every move you make in the game, which is, again, a very scary thing to do online because you can't really react. And it might work out for the Hwoarang. But again, it's pretty even of a matchup, I would say. Hwoarang may be a bit better on terms of range and being able to poke quite efficiently compared to the Kazuya. But in terms of what they do in the game plan, it's kind of similar, but we'll just have to see how well each player knows the matchup and knows each other and is able to adapt and react to each other. Again, even though if a matchup, especially 2 characters, if one is favored than the other, but the other player knows more and knows how to fight the matchup better, they are going to win, especially in a game like Tekken where half the game is knowledge. You need to know what your opponent is doing even before then, in terms of strings, in terms of everything. It is better to know what your opponent can do and fight on that. All right, so it's paramount that you, if you want to play on a competitive level, you're going to have to sit down and learn possibly each and every character. And each character has about 100 plus moveset. Is going to be a headache to learn, but this is what's expected from top level play. And who's to say, we definitely have 2 players in different region qualifiers that are up there on the international stage. So we have India, Tejan, who has made it on to seem top 3 back, I believe, in 2018. He made it up there with Asuka. Although he has 3 characters under his pocket, an Asuka pick is pretty good. She's a decently high character. She's been buffed, nerfed, buffed again, and she has the tools to take the game. And to see Tejan in this tournament is going to be very, very interesting to see him play. But of course, we can't talk about Tekken without talking about the Korean players, in which case in South Korea we have Chanel, which is a very, very famous Alyssa player, the robot character, if you guys don't know, if you're new to the game. And she's not regarded as a very, very strong character, but in the right hands, any character can take it. Long time ago, Tekken World Tour Finals, Rang Chu, famous Panda player, took it. And Panda is widely regarded as a low-tier bad character. So, I was talking about matchups, how good characters are and all that. A lot of that can be thrown down when it comes to just the knowledge between both players. And that's the most important right there. And Chanel and Tejan, they know the game. They've made their mark on the international stage, and we will hopefully get to see them when their respective regions pop up. And again, this is an online tournament where it's not too shy on like sort of difficulties and all that. It does happen in any sort of online setting. So thank you guys so much for staying tuned and for watching. Even though things are taking a little bit, it means a lot. And it's pretty tough. But anyway, talking more about the other countries, we also have Indonesia. I know some of them are the D-Rival boys. They've been putting a lot of work in a lot of fighting games, and I know they're fairly strong in Tekken, but I also believe that they have the Philippine players as well. And now Philippines is a country that has made their mark in Tekken very strong. They do play that game. They love that game. That is considered one of the main games out there, even though I know the anime scene is very strong. I know some of those guys personally from the anime scene. But in terms of Tekken, they have made their mark on the international scene. So Philippines definitely want to look out for in that region qualifier, along with Indonesia. But knowing those 2 countries, we haven't actually seen a lot of Vietnam play. So that's what I'm also hoping to see. Vietnam is rarely ever a country that we get to see in an online tournament, especially a Tekken tournament. We do know they're strong players. We've seen Marn go down there and play Dragon Ball with them. And I know some of those Vietnam boys personally, especially when it comes to fighting games and anime fighting games in general. They're a very strong bunch, very committed. And hopefully we get to see how good they are in that play when their respective region pops up. Now, again, I just want to iterate, for each region, there's up to 1 slot to be taken. But in the region slot that South Korea is in, I believe there are 2 slots ready because there's a whole bunch of players, including Hong Kong, which I do know has a strong Soul Calibur scene. Not 100% familiar with their Tekken scene, honestly. It's kind of hard nowadays seeing how everything is online, and the Tekken netcode is not so forgiving. But hopefully, with the new season coming up, season 4, we're gonna see some new. We're gonna see a new character, Kunimitsu. We're gonna see some netcode changes that we are hoping for. We need to see some better lobby systems. Harada, please. I know you don't. We are not allowed to ask you for stuff, but we're just hoping. You know, people want to play this game. People want to play Tekken online. They, especially now, guys. If there's a global pandemic going on, and it's best that everybody stay safe, stay home if possible. So again, guys, thank you for coming to the stream, and yeah, just make sure y'all stay safe. That is the biggest part right here. So we also want to play fighting games safe. We know the offline environment is the best. So it's really good to see some of the online developers making it more comfortable for online development right now. We've seen the latest one, Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R, recently getting an online rollback, and that has been great. So, okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I just got an update. Unfortunately, there are some technical difficulties on the Uzbekistan side. We will be switching up games currently. So we'll have different opponents line up. I believe we'll be having UAE versus Kyrgyzstan. So we're going to have that match coming up. Unfortunate as it may be, I really wanted to see Uzbekistan play, but UAE will still stay on. So we'll probably see more of that Hwoarang play. But Kyrgyzstan, if he pulls out the Leroy again in this matchup, not 100% certain. So again, guys, just to reiterate, we are changing up our match. Unfortunately, some technical issues have arrived on player side, so we will be switching it to UAE, United Arab Emirates, versus Kyrgyzstan. So we saw Kyrgyzstan play. UAE, we just saw the character. Who knows if that's going to be his pick, if a Hwoarang is going to be the way to go. But Leroy, we saw a Leroy so far. I'm not too comfortable with the Leroy versus Hwoarang matchup because that might be bad on the Hwoarang side. So maybe we'll see a switch from UAE. But who knows if these players played each other before, if they're very familiar with a matchup at all, if they might switch characters. Again, this won't be anything new if these guys switch characters because we've seen offline players play completely different characters online. Again, with Book from Thailand, very famous for his Jin. We're switching it up to Zafina. But looks like our match is getting ready. We will have, again, okay, so it is going to be a Hwoarang and Leroy matchup. UAE, Sultan using Hwoarang, and then Kyrgyzstan using Leroy Smith. A Twilight conflict as well. There's going to be a balcony break. So whoever's back is against the wall in that situation has to be super careful. It can lead to massive damage. But both of these characters have decent wall carry, mainly the Leroy over the Hwoarang. The Hwoarang needs his Rage Drive to be able to get some really good distance after his for wall carry. But who's to say? Both characters can wall break, and this is going to be quite interesting, quite explosive in general to see what happens here. So, Twilight conflict, both these players. I'd say the Leroy might have it better in this situation. Okay, so they're going to start in the middle ground. That balcony break is going to be behind in the scene there. Okay, starting off with the low poke. Sultan ready for it. Just dumped. Okay, throw. Got to break those. That's a regular throw. Back turn. Big launch. Okay, this is going to be a corner carry. Oh, not quite enough. Did not get the dash. Here's the mix-up that we're talking about. Oh, that's going to be a punish, though. He pulled the trigger, and he was going to get punished for it. Okay. So there we go. UAE already really strong, putting out to Kyrgyzstan. Caught him in the mix-up. Only getting a little bit of damage there, shy from a perfect. Okay, here's a float. Not going to be able to get the full combo. Goes for the low follow-up after that string. Okay, got caught. So this is going to be very confusing for you guys, but if you're looking at Hwoarang very carefully, you have to realize what foot is forward and what foot is back, because it completely changes his moveset in situations. Oh, but looks like Kyrgyzstan is not giving up this game. Oh, he missed the full launch combo. Okay. It's going to be a simple combo, but he does not get the follow-up after that. Okay, was ready for the low. There's the parry, and does the good follow-up right there. Kyrgyzstan up a round now. Both players 1 round each. Okay, tries to go for the low, but poked out really quick. Kyrgyzstan just putting the offensive on right now. And the back one from Hwoarang going to be able to get some space, going to get out of the situation. And now this is a very atypical thing that you're going to see in Tekken, where they're going to be backing off and trying to catch each other's mistakes. So there we go. There's that back one. You got to stop the Hwoarang from doing the back one. There's the mid power crush. Okay, throw. Can't. Having trouble breaking the throw. Goes for the launch anyway. Okay, back one. So here's the thing. That Hwoarang knows that back one is his get out of jail card right there, and he is using it leisurely. And Kyrgyzstan needs to punish that. Back one round start. Dipping in, gets the low. Gonna be able to get some wall carry right there. The pokes, the low poke, natural combo with that. Okay, here's the mix up. Oh, got him pressing something. Does not get the follow up, the weird wall situation right there, the weird angle. No launch punish, no punish after that launcher. Okay, full damage, no poke. This is looking very bad for the Hwoarang, and he ducks low, but he gets mid-checked right there. Both players now drawn going into the final round of the first game. This is only the first game. Okay, good punish on that. Gonna be able to just get a quick hit in there from that low, punishing it. Wow, that mid power crush. Sultan really making sure that... Oh, there's the 10 comma again! Okay, good parry. Not gonna be able to get a bunch of damage right there. Good move, but not gonna be able to get a launcher. Kyrgyzstan needs to be very careful what move he puts out next. And the mid-check, he tried fighting for his turn, but looks like UAE will take that first game over Kyrgyzstan. Very close and very, very interesting game right there. So it looks like it was a flip-on situations of what we saw from Kyrgyzstan versus Kazakhstan, where Kyrgyzstan was just putting the offensive on top of Kazakhstan, but UAE instead putting the mix-up into Leroy and not being afraid at all of Leroy's parries, which is very interesting. We saw some abuse of the power crushes coming from Hwoarang, mainly the main one, and the high one is a good frame trap. So what that means is that when he was pressing a button, when the Hwoarang put him in block stun, there was a bit of a gap that the opponent could do something, but the Hwoarang planned it as such so that the next move would definitely hit, and it hit him out of him trying to get his turn back. So that was something that Kyrgyzstan has to download and has to realize. He cannot just press a button even though he wants his turn really bad, even though he wants to try and get a hit in. He has to be careful. He has to pick his moves and attacks carefully and precisely. Otherwise, we're going to see another run back of UAE running over Kyrgyzstan right there and taking that game again. So again, Kyrgyzstan has to be very careful. Needs to start using those parries, and we haven't seen the low launcher at all coming from Leroy. He has that cane. He has that one per game, and I mean per game. Even though it's a 3-round set, he does not get that low launcher back with a cane. He has to watch out for that. We haven't seen it at all, but that's still a tool in the back of his mind. And it's a very strong launcher, and it's going to be able to do a lot of damage. And we saw from mostly that the Leroy was able to capitalize off the wall damage earlier in the last game, but it didn't seem to matter as UAE just kept him in block stun, just caught him pressing buttons every time in neutral, and just could not get a good game going. And just being able to push the Hwoarang to the wall. But every time he did, he managed to take the round. So what could possibly happen is if we get some stage like Mishima Dojo, or a very, very small stage like Souk, or even, let's say, the Walking Dead stage, the walls can be sort of close depending on the angle, and it could really mean a lot for the Leroy, especially being able to capitalize off of those combos right there. But again, it's going to be very hard on the Hwoarang to sort of get out of that situation, because he's just been using back one to get out of the situation. Okay, looks like we're going to go in our second game right now. We have to see what stage they're going to be playing at. If there's going to be a character... And of course, we see the golden boy of this season. We see Fakumran. He is going to be in here, and it's Brimstone and Fire. So this is a single stage. The walls are not too close, not too far. It's wider than Mishima Dojo. It's about an octagonal shape. So there might be some weird wall splats and everything, but Fakumran is scary. I hope you're watching your feet. I hope you're looking for when Fakumran is crouching, because that's when the scary stuff happens. If he's going to launch you with the low, or he's going to launch you with the mid, it's going to be very, very scary to see otherwise. So we're going to have to see Sultan putting each other in the sort of block stun and trying to make sure they're not going to fight. They don't want each other to sort of play in that situation. Just making sure they're locking them down. All right, so we're going to get the poke in right there. It looks like, yep, the Hwoarang is getting his game set. There's the mix-up. There's the throw. All right. Tries to go for the running 3. Does not work. There's no punish on that. There we go. There's the first of the low launch. but not going to work out. Okay, the string was going to catch him in the frame trap, but Fakumran, very good. Is going to have those fast buttons. Going to be very scary right there. Okay. So it looks like we are going to have just... So no worries. Fakumran has Rage right now. This could be very scary. The next hit could kill it. There's the wall splat. There's the Rage drive. And there we go. Kyrgyzstan going higher up on the tier list and taking that round right there with Fakumran. Okay. There's the pokes right now. Fakumran with some sort of advantage there. But no, looks like the buttons are coming out on the UAE side. It's going to be very difficult. There's a throw, no throw break right there. That is command throw. You're going to have to break that with a specific button. Okay. This is still possible for Fakumran if he gets close to that wall. Okay, did not pull the trigger on the launcher and got hit with the jab. And there we go. UAE is going to take another round up on Kyrgyzstan. Okay, got caught pressing a button. You have to duck some of these moves. That's a mid check. Oh, this is relentless. Okay, caught the back turn. Big hit right there. Oh, but there's the mid check. Quick tracking on there. Now this is very scary. Kyrgyzstan needs to find out how to get his turn back, where to step and where to duck. This is very important, fighting a Horang especially. Okay, there's the duck. He's going to be able to get a launch, but does not follow up on it, and it's going to cost him his turn. Counter hit. Great follow-up, going to get the spin. Is this going to be a full... Oh, does not get the full wall carry, but he does get a 4-4-3 on that hit. Going to be able to capitalize a bit more off of that. Back one, get out of jail free card. UAE. Big launcher, he ducked, and that is it. UAE is going to take that game over Kyrgyzstan, and that is the game up right there. So what we saw was very, very different because he switched from Leroy. He lost the potential to parry, but it was a very explosive game, as we saw. Even though that Kyrgyzstan using Fakumran was at a health deficit, he quickly turned it around with a quick wall confirm and was able to take that game. And so there we have it, our second game right now. And before we go into our next game, I believe we're going to have another 15-minute break before things go on. But again, I'd like to thank the sponsors again for helping us do this tournament. So Eilat, Escape to the Sun as our host city and main sponsor. Maccabi World Union, the main hosting partner. Israeli Esports Association as main hosting partner. And MCST, IESF partner. Right, thank you guys so much for being able to throw this Tekken tournament. We love to see more professional Tekken being out there. And we'll see you after the break. Thank you so much. To the Eilat 12th Esports World Championship Asian Qualifier right now. Before we go on more about the game and the previous game, I'd like to thank the sponsors again. Eilat, Escape to the Sun as the host city main sponsor. Maccabi World Union, main hosting partner. Israeli Esports Association, main hosting partner as well. And MCST, IESF partner. You guys, thank you so much for helping us do this Tekken tournament, and it's been a great honor to be able to commentate it. I am your commentator, Downright Fierce. Now, we've already gone through 2 games so far. We've had Kyrgyzstan versus Kazakhstan and UAE versus Kyrgyzstan again. We saw so far just about 3 players. We had some issues before, so hopefully we get to see Uzbekistan play again. But Kyrgyzstan taking that loss, UAE taking a game up. Now they're both tied for 3 points this round robin. So they're going to have to win more games to be able to get that slot to qualify in the Asian qualifiers. And already we see tomorrow's one. So be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow where we do Southeast Asia. But now for today, we're doing Central Asia and Middle East. I believe our next game is going to be Uzbekistan versus Kazakhstan. There we go. We have it on the board. So again, Dante Solo PS, Kazakhstan versus Uzbekistan right here. Uzbekistan I have is written down as Blancos, right? But that is his name written up on the board there. So Uzbekistan, we haven't seen him play at all. Kazakhstan not faring too well against Kyrgyzstan in the last game, fighting a Leroy and all that. But we did see a Mishima, so who knows whether he can pull out the stops and sort of put Uzbekistan in that sort of loop, in that mix-up to try and get the game. We have yet to see that coming from the Mishimas just yet, but I'm glad we get to see one today. It's very difficult to play Mishima characters online, especially. So just having one out here right now is great. Usually players opt not to play Mishimas at all online, even shying away from Kazumi, one of the easier Mishimas in the game. But Kazuya, very, very solid character, very good character. Everybody will say that he is one of the great characters of this game, even though we have characters like Fakumran and Julia right now really, really pushing the meta forward. And that's another thing we haven't get to see yet. We haven't seen a Julia. We so far have seen Fakumran, Definitely one of the favorite picks of this season. Very good character, very solid character, even on net play and all that. Maybe people considered him slightly cheap and gimmicky almost, but that's not true to say, because you can say that about almost every character. It's just whether you understand that character mechanics and you're able to fight that matchup. It's a whole nother situation. So gimmicks don't really count in a Tekken game, especially if you're very prepared for it and if you're not there. Meaning that if you are able to just Korean backdash out of any situation, you make your opponent whiff, and that's where the real game starts. You're going to have to punish the opponent. And that is one word I will say a lot: punish. Tekken 7 is all about the punishment game. Nothing, no move that your opponent do is ever given for free. Each player has to fight for their turn, fight for each button they're pressing, and every action they do, whether they're moving forward, moving back, crouching, or anything. Each movement is key, and you're gonna see a lot more of that in high level play. You're gonna see a lot of them not taking their turn, just backdashing away, doing a little stare down, and making sure that they're checking each other. Mid checks, non-true strings. You're gonna see a lot of that in a very, very high level Tekken 7 match, because any button press is a potential for a punish. Meaning that even though the opponent is hitting you and you're blocking, you can very much well take your turn back and fight back that button, even if it's a string. It is very, very important that they are very ready for each string that comes out. And I'm not saying they're studying each 140 move list. We just saw Hwoarang. He has more than 140 moves, each different stances, 4 different stances on each side. Left foot forward, right foot standing, left foot standing. And even then, there's his ways to get into rage drive and all that, and not every player is going to be ready for it, but you have to be able to understand players' weak side. Like Hwoarang, if you sidestep left, it's going to be very difficult for him. Unless he's left foot forward or right foot forward, you're going to have to be very careful on where you move. And Tekken is a movement heavy game that focuses on punishment. That is how you win Tekken, and that is only possible if you understand your opponent's character very carefully. And so far we've already seen 2 of the very high tier characters. Well, Leroy got a bit nerfed, but definitely Fakuman being up there. So we already seen how they handle the matchup there, here and there, but I'm very happy to see a Hwoarang player up this high up on the qualifier. Not a very popular pick, but definitely one online. Earlier we saw, I believe, some of the Philippine players, they did opt from Shaheen to play Hwoarang. And it was a very interesting game. Philippine players tend to have this heavy emphasis on mix-ups, on 50-50s in neutral. Neutral meaning that if both players are just standing still, like looking at each other, that is considered just the most neutral situation possible. No one has hit anybody yet. Nobody has the higher ground in that situation. And we see a heavy emphasis on some characters who, just in that situation, will try to go for a mid-low, a mid-high, and maybe a high-low or anything like that. And that's what we've started seeing more of on online play, because it's very hard to catch out some of those lows. But good Tekken players will realize certain strings and will be able to counteract properly. So, for example, low strings can be block crouching, and high strings can actually be crouched underneath and whiff. Same thing with grabs. You can actually avoid grabs at all if you're crouching. The problem is that when crouching, you're going to have to be careful of mid-launchers. So this is the sort of mind game that's behind all sorts of attacks and all that in a Tekken 7 game, where you have to be very careful on where your opponent is. Are they crouching? Are they trying to get their turn back and all that? You're going to have to be able to really, unfortunately, sort of roll the dice in that situation and go like, I am going to duck because I feel he's going to do a high move, and I'm going to punish that with a move. That is the sort of thing you start seeing a lot more of in the game. But again, it's very difficult online to sort of be, react to this sort of thing. So most people, when they do this when they play online or do anything like that, they are committing to it 100%, which means a hit or miss, or even on block, they're just going to try to do the full string anyway, and they're going to hope that it hits. If not, they hope that the opponent misses the punish, which we have seen a couple of times. So in our last match, we saw Hwoarang being used by UAE. He did the back 3, which is a launcher, the high kick on standard stance, and we did not see from Kyrgyzstan him being able to punish that with a jab. And that's very important. Not even a jab punish. You have to be able to know what punish you can do off of every single move. And certain moves, if they're launch punishable, you should always do the launch punish unless you have the wall against your back and you want a wall splat move. That's something you have to be aware of. And that's something you'll see in high level Tekken play where they sort of make that call as like, I'm launch punishing this, or I'm going to just, 13 frame punish this. And what I mean by 13 frame is like when players measure moves in terms of properties and all that, we usually say it by frame. So the fastest move in Tekken, the fastest jabs are usually 10 frame and typically highs, right? So if you were to be blocking something and the person is neutral, 0 on block on both sides, right? But this guy puts out a 10 frame button as fast as possible, he's going to be able to hit the guy possibly trying to do a launch or anything else other than that. So the higher up you go on Tekken, you're going to have to figure out the frame data and really learn about it. So, okay. All right, so unfortunately there are some issues going on, but it looks like we're going to have another game coming up instead. So again, we're going to have on the screen, it's going to show right there, we're going to have Kazakhstan versus UAE, United Arab Emirates. So this is going to be an interesting game right here. So we saw, again, the Kazuya. So it looks like I might have that a little bit wrong right there. Sorry for the mishap. Looks like the names are going to get changed around. Again, we really got to see a lot of Hwoarang here, so I'm already happy as an older Hwoarang main back in like Tekken 3, Tekken 4, but it's going to be switched up. We're going to have a different game going up right now. I believe we're going to have Kazakhstan. Still's going to stay up on the board, but I believe he's going to fight Kyrgyzstan. Okay, so they are sorting it out on the scene. Okay, so yeah, so we've seen from the matches already. We've already had 2 matches, I believe, and it's going to just be adjusted right now. Online lobbies, nothing's perfect right now. We're working through it as best as we can, and we're going to try to get our match up coming as soon as possible. Again, guys, thank you so much on stream for tuning in, for staying in tune. We will get these matches up as soon as possible, as soon as we can, and just stay tuned. But again, really, really interested to see what sort of what these players sort of bring out on the table. And we already saw UAE, possibly one of the stronger players on this season right now, on this session in this region qualifier. But again, it's an online tournament. Who's to say who's going to come out on top? Before, on another online qualifier, we saw Book not even being able to take a single game off of his opponents, even though he is really regarded as one of the stronger Tekken players around. But it's just the nature of the tournaments. Whether you have nerves, whether it's misinputs, whether you're really feeling yourself today, anything can really happen in this sort of environment, and especially playing online. And this is what we're here to see. And it's not that we can't see any good Tekken games. There can still be really good Tekken games no matter where you are, and hopefully we get to see a lot more of them. And I'm really hoping to see, this Kazuya play out really well. I haven't seen a lot of crouch dashing coming in from him, and I really want to see a lot cleaner movement, because this is what people who play Tekken really, really love about the game. The movement, being able to really move properly, crouch dashing, Korean back dashing. And Mishimas live in that atmosphere because they're one of the few characters who can crouch dash. They can go underneath moves. They're very good. They can even block during a crouch dash if they know how to input their crouch dash properly. It's a very, very strong tool. But again, Mishimas are very difficult. And most characters with a crouch dash, very difficult to play. Maybe aside from Armor King, but not to say that it's very easy to play Armor King at all. It's just that Mishimas are widely regarded as one of the tougher characters to play in this game, and I do offer a lot of respect to those who decide to main Mishima characters in general, especially Devil Jin per se. Jin, absolutely, very, very terribly difficult to play well and play optimally. You have to, certain moves will only act in a certain way depending on where you're hit. So Jin's version of an Electric Wind God Fist will only launch at the front and not the back. It's really strange. But it looks like we're getting our next game ready. And yes, okay, so let's see what characters we see. We see the Paul coming back on there from Kazakhstan, and then UAE again rocking the Hwoarang. Again, these online stats, they don't mean much in terms of relative play, but looks like we're going to get Jungle Outpost 2. Some of my favorite music is on the stage. We're going to get the balcony break. We're going to get a wall break underneath. Now, the thing about multiple breaking stages is that you cannot do both in the same combo. If you want to do the other one, you have to do a reset, or you have to set up a situation where you can get that not within the same combo. So for them to break both would be very, very impossible. It's not coded that way. All right, so all on the left. Okay, starting with the low pokes. Now, we saw Kazakhstan struggle earlier in trying to get his turn, but we'll just have to see if he knows how to fight this matchup well. Okay, yeah, that's a very good thing to do. Okay, he fakes out the low launcher. Very smart right now. We're seeing very interesting things. He has his back against the wall. Okay, UAE setting up the offense, though. Great down jab. You're going to see a lot of that. If someone's trying to take their turn really badly, wants that string, that is a very important thing to do. Oh, really good stuff right here. We're seeing all sorts of stops being pulled out by Kazakhstan, and he takes that game over UAE. Wow. So that's round one coming from Kazakhstan. Right there, low poke, mid poke. Just wants to make sure he can't get away. And Korean backdash coming from the Korean character. Really interesting. Okay, now, but here we go. UAE is realizing that Kazakhstan is sitting down and just not taking the mix-up, not getting up, and he's getting punished for that. But now back against the wall, UAE looking very scary. Rage is off the table now with Raging Death Fist. Okay, plus on block. Mid check caught him doing something right there, and UAE immediately back in the game, looking very strong after that. I think he has him downloaded. Okay, Korean backdashing on both sides. Okay, crouching jab. Stopping UAE's turn coming out right there. Oh, he was waiting for the crouching jab right there. Tried to do the launcher, was not ready. Lots of whiff moves, but no confidence to try and punish him. But Paul quickly with the running grab. Does he guess right? No, he does not. He's going to be able to chain throw from here. All right. Low poke after that. So try to while standing launcher. Not going to happen. Okay, crouching jab again. Just stopping UAE from taking his turn. Okay, mid check right there. Sway back. Gonna go for the low poke, but UAE quickly runs away from that. Gonna backdash away. There's the throw. Side switch. Now his back against the wall. Okay, just wake up press buttons trying to get in his face. But Rage Drive on Hwoarang. The next hit could be very big. There's the Rage Drive pop. He's gonna be able to do a follow-up, and he just goes for a down back 3. He doesn't try to do a 4-4-3. Just knows that that's just enough to get the kill right there. Okay, so UAE looking at final round. Gonna be able to take this game if he takes it. Okay, the string coming up. Is he going to try to fight for his turn? Gets hit with a 4-4-3. Okay, launcher, no punish. Needs to be able to punish his moves. Needs to stop his opponent from just pressing buttons as he wishes. Okay, life is relatively the same. Maybe UAE. Okay, UAE definitely with the life lead right here. Okay, gets caught with the low string. Low high is going to be able to take that. UAE with the first game of that. So he's going to take that first match, and that was some really, really solid play right there. Now, we saw what Kazakhstan was trying to do, and he was doing it really well, throwing his opponent through a mix, going for a low, but then canceling out straight into a mid and another poke. Very strong. But UAE, in the end of the day, had the same game plan. Decided to not let his opponent play, keep his opponent in check, and just made sure he couldn't press a button or move, which is usually not the sort of play that you would see from Hwoarang, but if you do get clipped with each of these mix-ups, Hwoarang is at an advantage of such where if you do decide to press a button and Hwoarang is already doing his string, you will get counter hit. So you have to be very careful of when you take your turn. And we saw a lot of that coming from Kazakhstan deciding to do a crouching jab, which is actually very good. So that crouching jab is one of the faster special mids. Typically mids cannot be blocked crouching, but that one can. And it's a very good solid move to do if you just want your turn back and you want to stop your opponent from pressing any more buttons when you know their string has ended or when their turn has ended. And when I say turn, what I really mean is like when both players are in neutral and one makes the other one block, it's not for a infinite amount of time. It's for a finite amount of frames. That's how we measure fighting games, by frames, 60 frames a second. So if the opponent is not at an advantage after that move, but he's still trying to press the button, trying to fight for it, that crouching jab is going to be very crucial in taking back his turn. And it's just something you're going to have to see a lot more of, especially coming from trying to stop UAE's pressure right now. That Hwoarang, he's throwing a lot of strings out there that aren't considered really true, and you're going to have to find out where to sidestep it, where to crouch, where to launch punish it, and where to jab out. So Kazakhstan, whether he knows the string or not 100% and is confident in his pull, that's a whole nother thing. We saw a lot of whiff moves coming in from the UAE side, but not being able to capitalize off of it with like Paul's signature move, the Death Fist, being able to score about 50% of your health in a single hit almost. If especially with your back is against the wall, that's a Death Fist free into Demo Man if you're into a simple combo. But we have yet to see that sort of thing. Paul needs to be able to make Hwoarang regret pressing a button or try to take his turn. He needs to be able to sidestep, maybe shoulder punish, maybe Death Fist. And I do like the sort of mix-up game coming from Kazakhstan, where he was really going for the low launch, but then canceled it and then went for the mid, catching a UAE off guard, trying to do something else and hit him. And yeah, that's another thing we haven't seen a lot of Paul do, which is generally not part of the game plan, but during the running throws, he does have a throw mix-up at that point where you do have to guess. And typically in a Tekken 7 game, you would usually break a throw depending on what arm is forward when they're throwing out that grab. So if their left hand goes forward to try and grab you, you break with 1 or left punch. And the other side, if the other arm comes out 2, some grabs you need 1+2. It's a very interesting thing. You'll usually see that a lot from King players, but Hwoarang does have command throws, especially with quarter circle back 3, I believe. He does have command throws that will need certain buttons to break, a 1 only break or a 2 only break, 1+2 only break. You're going to see a lot of that. And the only throws you cannot break are back throws. So it's very interesting. But what we saw right there when Paul did the knockdown throw, he had a chance to do various throws, and he chose, I believe that was the 1 break throw. I could be wrong. It's very hard to tell when you're in that situation. You just have to guess. And certain throws put you in a more favorable situation, maybe even a side switch. But looks like we're going to go into our next game. Whether we'll see a character switch coming from Paul's side. No, they're going to pull the trigger and still stay on Paul. So it looks like UAE is going to stick to Hwoarang and Kazakhstan staking to Paul. And now this stage is going to be very interesting as well. Close to something like Jungle Outpost 2, where we're going to have the balcony break, but there's no wall break after that. After that, it's a much wider ground to fight at the bottom. But the first initial part of the stage they're fighting at, not very big, easy to wall carry, and only one of those walls is going to be a balcony break. So we're going to have to see who's going to get that. We might not even see it at all at this rate. We didn't even see any balcony breaks coming in from Jungle Outpost 2, so who's to say what's going to happen here in terms of the stage right now. Okay, so they're on Hwoarang on the left, UAE. Okay, already taking his turn with a quick 1-2 straight into stance. And there we go, Kazakhstan. Oh, here we go. That's a simple float. Does not get the Death Fist. Does not do it fast enough. Okay, shoulder. There we go. We need to see more of that. We need to see Kazakhstan taking his turn back with side slip shoulder more. Okay, not deciding to do anything on wake up, just waiting it out. Frame trap with that spinner. You're going to see a lot of that. 3-4 on left foot forward. Okay, here's the stance. The string. Okay, quick throw. Side switch. Back against the wall. Right. And there we go. Hwoarang taking it there. Okay, so the shoulder is going to be very difficult to punish. I'm not too sure Hwoarang actually has the tools to punish that. Okay, tries to go for a quick jab but does not get in. The lows, quick caught with the mid. Okay, quick duck. Going to be able to duck that string. There is some sort of punish. That's what we need to see more of coming from Kazakhstan. Okay, yeah, just going to let his opponent whiff. He's going to stay on the ground, just wants him to do something. Oh, and there's the throw, but no throw break. Standard throw. And that's going to catch you every time. You have to be careful where you roll, especially in that situation. You are going to get caught out. It's not a true string. Okay, quick jabs, straight into tick throw. Very good. Another throw right there. You have to break these regular throws. That was the regular throw right there. Same back turn setup. Back 3. 4-4-3. Okay. Here's the string. This is looking very bad for Kazakhstan. This almost looks like a wash. Okay, he needs to find some fighting room. Oh, and he goes in. The 3-4 right there. 4-3, I believe. And there we go. That last game going by so quick right there. Kazakhstan struggling to find some ground, trying to fight UAE, but UAE just piling on the pressure right there and coming out on top with Hwoarang. Now, usually, typically, Paul games can be quite explosive, especially when Rage is on the table, but it's also very hard if you don't understand where to sort of pick your ground and where to fight. So UAE coming out on top of that game. And before we go into the next game, we're going to call for another break. We'll see you again in around 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and we'll see you there.
This is the 12th Esports World Championship Asia qualifiers for the Central Asia and Middle East region. My name is Contra. Alongside with me is Downright Furious. We're in for some amazing Tekken matches.
Yes, we are. But before we go on into any of the Tekken matches, I just want to do a few reads for a little bit. Big thank you to Eilat, Escape the Sun, our host city and main sponsor, Maccabi World Union, main hosting partner, Israeli Esports Association, main hosting partner, and MCST, IESF partner. Big thank you to you guys for helping us host this tournament. Wouldn't happen without you. All right? And I think we have a little announcement to go on before we talk about what's happening with our next game and all that. Yes.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Uzbekistan have chosen to concede from the tournament due to connectivity issues, and therefore we will be moving on to the grand finals between UAE as well as Kyrgyzstan. So this is going to be quite a pretty heated matchup right here for this best of 7 that we're about to see. So, of course, do fill me in since I've been just joining the desk
yes, no
for a
problem,
couple of minutes. So I believe that all the pre-series have been pretty incredible coming from both sides.
Yeah, so far we've seen UAE really run a train down this bracket right here through the round robin, taking his games without a single loss, right? But that's not to say that Kyrgyzstan didn't go on. He also did take one game, and that's why he's in grand finals right now. And there we see on the board, UAE and Kyrgyzstan standing on top, fighting for that single slot, competing for that single slot between Central Asia and Middle East. And then, of course, we see tomorrow we're going to have Southeast Asia going on. But this is going to be grand finals for this region. It's going to be a best of 7, so it's going to be a long game. We're going to be in here for a long time.
Yeah, quite a while. And I believe that there's a lot of all these tricks to be pulled up from their sleeves, as we'll be seeing how exactly will Kyrgyzstan face up against the challenge here with UAE. Not even dropping a single match at all. This is going to be Sultan 372 of the UAE, as well as greatest DJ to be doing all out.
Yeah, so again, Kyrgyzstan, we've seen a lot of characters from him. He's been using 2 top tiers so far. We've seen Leroy, and we have seen Fakumran. Now, of course, Leroy did get a bit nerfed. It's not Evil Japan Leroy, but it's still going to be it's still going to matter right here, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a longer set, which means each player is going to have more time to sort of adapt to each other. And so far, we've seen UAE stick to Hwoarang only. And not to say that Hwoarang is gimmicky, but once you start figuring out his game plan, it can really, really dismantle really quickly. And whether both players are ready to adapt to any situation is what we've yet to see in these short comes.
That's right. So if we really want to put it into perspective, since you've been mentioning that Hwoarang seems to be the go-to pick for this out of UAE, then how would Leroy or Fakumram actually fare? Which one would actually be better for this sort of matchup in that sort of sense?
Okay, so I feel like he got a better game going with his Leroy, because, again, Leroy against the wall, it's a lot of damage, and you have the parry follow-ups. Meanwhile, Fakumran, explosive damage, but you need to make each hit count. And combos, not very consistent. And there we go. We see the Leroy coming in from the Kyrgyzstan side, and UAE locking in the Hwoarang.
And we're going to be going into the helipad for our very first round. So, of course, it's going to be pretty much interesting to see how it will develop at the very end. And he's got to be really keeping an eye out for all those sort of parries that will be coming in as well. Yes, Leroy might have been nerfed to oblivion, some might say, but hey, he's pretty dependable in the competitive scene where we still see him from time to time.
Yeah, he's still definitely a viable pick, whether or not he's been nerfed or not. We've seen the worst characters take Tekken World Tour games, so who's to say at this very moment? Okay, starting off the match. Okay, first block the low, but no punish on it. Good 4-4-3.
Oh man, he's soaking it up already, and he's just going to be putting him against the wall. Now down on the ground, he's not going to be able to do much.
Solid wall splash. Good. Wall rising punish. Gonna be able to get a float. Good wall damage.
Wow.
Both
of them going in for a flip. Now he's going to be charging right in as well. Going for the lows, and now he's going to be able to trade right back. Only a tick of health left, and that will be UAE getting the first match.
Okay, there's the launch right there. Big counter hit starter from Kyrgyzstan going in right there. It's going to be a wall break. Oh, no weird wall spot. He's look at that. Half health gone already.
Oh, man. It's going to be pretty tough for him to actually recover right now. Oh, what the perfect run.
And a parry to end it off. Perfectly done.
Now, both of them are pretty much one apiece. So
low parry into parry. See that a lot online.
Trying to go in for the highs. Gets the connection as well. Turn right shoot. Flips him right off. And Tim's going to be having a tough time now that he's pinned right back. And it's a KO. He just needs one more point to get the first game.
Yeah, and it's not like Kyrgyzstan's not going down without a fight. It's just these clean wall splits. Wall splats have been really favoring UAE. A quick throw and he's already back against the wall here. That wall hasn't broken just yet. Not gonna get a splat.
And he's gonna be able to trade right back. Sultan in a tricky situation. Oh my goodness me.
There's a parry. He's gonna end it. Okay, going into the final round of the first game. This is only the first game of a best of 7. It's gonna take a while.
Oh boy. I definitely think that we're definitely in for pretty much all 7 games if that's going to be the case.
Oh yeah, and that was a massive combo. Being able to get the wall break off of that, such a clean splat. And command throw will take it. Oh wow.
What a great recovery coming from Sultan as well. The UAE getting this first one off, of course, showing pretty much not too much of the difference of the past couple of games on the sort of combos that he's been using. You know, the Leroy has been able to bounce right back with another perfect run as well. So still pretty much a 50-50.
It's still a 50-50. It's a back and front. Very different from what we saw the first time these guys were playing. It's now even. And this just means more because these guys have more time to adapt to each other. And that's the name of Tekken. There's 2 different tier lists for characters. A deathmatch tier list and then a simple first to 2 tier list. And right now we're leaning closer to the deathmatch tier list because these games are going to drag out. And these players have to figure out how each other's work. How do they click and break them down. And this is what we're slowly seeing from Kyrgyzstan. He didn't go down without a fight. Those were some really clean games.
Yeah, I gotta say, there were really great punishments coming out as well, coming in from both ends, and a little bit of that sort of a scuffle that we just saw. So now that we're going to be going to the second round here, of course, they just need to adapt a little bit more to get themselves pretty much used to the tempo.
Yeah, and I feel like Kyrgyzstan is really pulling the trigger right on Leroy. I don't feel like he should switch to Fakumran. We have seen him switch to Fakumran after he loses with Leroy, but he should be a bit more confident with his Leroy pick. He has those parries as an option, and Hwoarang has the second guess. Okay. Okay, so it looks...
Well, seems like we're receiving a little bit of news from the production side to check on the players for a little bit. So we do have a little bit of time here to actually look into this sort of the first round that we just saw. So, like you said, you mentioned about the Leroy, he should actually stick to it. And they brought it to pretty much
final round,
the final round itself. So once he get the grip back on his hands, he should be pretty much good to go. So I'm definitely expecting a little bit more of the games with Leroy, as we can see here.
And abandoned tempo right now. No more wall breaks, bit more room to play with.
Yeah.
Both characters pretty good wall carry, maybe more towards the Leroy side without the Rage Drive. Hwoarang with Rage Drive, of course, you're going to be thrown to the other side of the wall, even with or without your consent at this point. So it's pretty even, I would feel, but whoever has their back against the wall, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, you don't want to be pinned up right there with all those wall bounce juggles. So with that being said, we're going to be moving in towards game 2.
Yes. Immediately back 3 after that mid-check. Straight away starting strong with a launch combo. There's the wall carry.
Oh boy. Don't really stand a chance right now. And Tim Sands really got to do something right there. Kyrgyzstan could not seem to be able to pick himself back up.
Launch.
Oh, perfect block right there. My goodness.
Yeah, he knew that low was coming. He knew it. Oh, that was so good right there.
Oh, man. We got to watch that again.
Yeah. Okay, there's the block on the low. Wall standing punish is going to get a launch. He will be able to get the wall carry if he does this perfectly. There we go. But he does not run further enough to get the confirm right there. Okay, good. Again, Hwoarang 2 power crushes right there. He's going to have to, he can do 3-4 and left foot forward, or he can go for his right foot standing, or left foot standing power crush mid, but both punishable if they're very careful.
Yeah, great job from him. He managed to get himself back up against the wall, and now trading right back. He might just be able to actually chain this one.
He committed to ducking. He just sat down and ducked. He didn't want to take anything. He was going to take the mid launcher. He just sat down and just blocked. Brave man.
Real brave. And now, one piece. Imagine bringing him down to the ground as well. Perfect defense. Now,
just frame skyrocket, maximum damage. He is, oh, this is a very complicated combo right there, but he drops the last bit to go into a mix-up.
Oh boy.
Back one again. That's going to happen a lot.
Trying to go for the Hell Sweep as well. No connections whatsoever. And great blocking is coming here from the side of Kyrgyzstan.
Oh, good block on the low. Hey, with punish, you have Rage Art, you have Rage Drive. Go into the spinner. Finish it off. There we go. There's a Rage Art. This could be it.
Oh, there we go.
Hopefully scaling doesn't kick in. 1-inch punch. Let's go, baby. There we go. Kyrgyzstan up on the board. He's one up against Sultan right now.
Just starting all the Wing Chun skills out there, and oh man, lifts him off there, and he just hits him off. And now a little bit of a good recovery coming inside of Kyrgyzstan at the very least.
Wow, okay. One thing I actually didn't mention is UAE is actually defending really spot on, really catching out these pokes coming from Kyrgyzstan. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
that's a punishment game right there.
Such an incredible read with that sort of reflex as well. And now Team Sounds could be able to actually get a chunk of his health back off.
Okay, the strength, parry, no power crush for you. Okay, so backing off again. This is going to be Korean Tekken. He has the life lead. Don't press the button. Don't press.
Oh no!
We want the game now. We all in. And there we go, Kyrgyzstan tying it up now. 1-1. Okay, so we've seen a lot of Tekken matches before. Usually when someone has that life lead, they're going to play it cool. They're going to, I don't need to go in. You come to me. But Kyrgyzstan just ran in, guns blazing, put him down on the ground, and finished that set. And it was pretty ballsy right there.
Yeah, I gotta say that that took pretty much a whole lot of courage, because one mistake, it could have possibly be a big switcheroo coming in for the side of Kyrgyzstan. But now
yeah, for sure.
We're going in for 2 final rounds already. So, well, what a treat that we are currently having for the Central Asia and Middle East region. And it's sad to say that we're only going to see one of these countries moving forward to the next rounds.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's only one slot. Some regions do have 2-slot qualifiers, but majority are 1. And only at the end of the day, we will see 1 move on to the Asian qualifier in the finals. But wow, final round after final round, these guys are pretty neck and neck. I had a feeling that UAE would have come out on top with his the performance of his games, but he's just been really putting work in, and Kyrgyzstan's coming out on top right now.
Yeah, and it's great to see them actually making a comeback as well. So studying all these sort of moves coming in from the Hwarang, and I guess he's getting pretty adjusted for now, but it's kind of too soon to tell for the moment.
Again, though, losers can change characters, so whether he has another character other than Hwarang is another thing to be said. We have not seen him change from this Hwarang, but it is still an option if he loses. Winner cannot change characters, but losers can. And it's my favorite place, Jungle Outpost 2. The music's so good.
Oh, yeah. I definitely love the music right there. Well, at the very least, we're not going to be making some singing in midstream.
No.
None of that. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling it already.
Yeah. Okay, so Jungle Outpost 2, you got that balcony break and the wall break underneath. Okay, ducked, wall standing punish. Gonna get that launch. Okay, float. We haven't seen him finish this combo. Oh, he still misses it. That is usually guaranteed at that point, and that last hit is unscaled. But we have yet to see him. The parry, pull the trigger.
Still got it. And now giving each other a little bit of space. Diving right back. Oh, that hell sweep though kicks him down. And pretty much first one secured.
All right, so now, okay, gonna be able to get the punish right there. Hwarang is gonna get the power crush because he can't duck after that. So much damage. Oh, this is the optimized combo.
Now,
Hell sweep, basically. Okay.
And Susan with a little bit of recovery. Pretty much even ground.
There's the first throw break coming in right there. That command grab, very scary, but the throw break right there.
Oh boy. Oh boy. It's going to be able to put him down to sleep once more. It might just be a perfect run for greatest DJ of Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, and he's really been putting this work. He's finishing his combos. He's getting all these hits in, and that's what's really counting right now. It looks like he has his number. Oh, he's downloaded him, but right now he's eating a Just Frame Skyrocket. Optimal combo. This could be a wall break. Oh, look at that wall carry, but not a clean splat. Not going to get a splat at all. All right, drive on the table.
Oh, turning blue, and now hits him right off. He's hunting for it, not giving a chance to UAE. And another point goes right in. And I believe this is going to be the first set of the best of 7?
Yeah, so after every 3 rounds there's gonna be a little change over there, but it's a best of 7 right now. And wow, okay, can we just say every punish was spot on? And that's the name of Tekken. That is what you do in Tekken, and we're actually seeing it work, and it's been beautiful. Of course, those parries have been also doing a little bit of cash work, making sure that Hwoarang can't press a button and all this. But each combo has been hit clean, and it's just been amazing. UAE's combos is also nothing to joke about, too.
Yeah, pretty much crisp and clean a couple of times. But we do see a little bit of the whiff, which was kind of unfortunate. That would possibly give pretty much of a huge lead if they could actually get those connections right in.
Yeah.
But of course, with that gives a little bit of room for the tempo. But this time, the Hwoarang seems to be negated of any sort of chances this time around.
Yeah, but we're not gonna close the gate off on the Hwoarang entirely, because had those optimal combos landed, by the way, those were maximum wall carry stuff. That was gonna be a balcony break earlier. Even though it was a side wall splat, that could have taken the game, ideally. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. And then Leroy popped a Rage Drive in the corner. His turn, his combo, game, set, match.
Yeah, that Rage Drive right there really got him that game right there. So, of course, we're hoping to see pretty much of the skill of momentum leading towards the side of Kyrgyzstan from this point onwards, now that he's pretty much solidifying on his stances already.
Yeah.
So, what could UAE do right now, of course? Now, with a little bit of a deficit, but then again, and it can still happen. It's still pretty much a long way to go.
So what we did see a lot of was how UAE did a lot of just frame skyrockets right there, because he knew the parry was going to come out. He waited a little bit and punished with a just frame skyrocket. And now that is the launcher for Hwoarang. It being just frame, it is more damaging, is a bit safer on block. And he just capitalized off of it with the most optimal combo. Granted, he dropped the end bit. We need to see a lot more of that, because right now Kyrgyzstan is counting on those parries to land him his turn back. But if he catches him trying to parry after every string he does, UAE is going to try to punch it every time with a just frame skyrocket.
Yeah, I believe that he will eventually get to read when the parry is going to be able to come out, and that's where, find that room, that split second of that moment to be able to just get him back on his knees.
Yeah, and this isn't in counting that how UAE has actually been playing very optimally with his combos. We've seen simple enders coming in from the Kyrgyzstan side, and it has been good. It has been working out in this situation because he's been putting himself in an advantage where he can sort of set up for the next combo and just put him in the mix and parry in general. But in terms of like finishing their play, UAE has it better right now. UAE has been a lot more consistent. So it's not Kyrgyzstan's games just yet. But it's definitely looking like it now.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty much of a slow start for Kyrgyzstan initially, but we can see that they kick it into the second gear, and who knows when will he actually hits the fifth gear to really rake in a couple more pointers in a sense. But now that we've seen pretty much a few of all these crucial things that Kyrgyzstan has to look out for, especially that launcher that will heavily punish him if he gets shoot up in the air, and that's where he'll soak up pretty much almost half HP.
Yeah, if there's a wall in there, it's going to be more than half HP. Yeah. If Rage Drive's on the table, it could be pretty much close to dead, because Hwoarang has 2 Rage Drives. One going to be able to do in the air after jumping 3-4, I believe, and then one on the ground where it starts off with a low. Not a natural combo, mind you. It only combos when he's in float. But in that situation, that's okay for Hwoarang. You're right now in a bunch of block stun. You're going to be able to set that high-low mix-up game right after that Rage Drive, even if he blocks that last hit, and it's going to be very bad.
Yeah, indeed. And over on the side of the Leroy as well, each set he actually gets to use the stick. We haven't really seen that being brought up as well, because that dishes quite a lot, and you can actually do it from 3 steps away. So something that he could actually use to advantage, maybe from a certain situation as well.
Yeah, because he only gets one of that.
Yeah,
it's a resource that you have to think about very carefully. And yes, it's one, but it's one very powerful tool. And if you don't see it used up at the end of 3 rounds, you're gonna have to use it. It's a low launcher that's relatively safe, right? It's granted you can avoid some of the hits, but that low launcher, it's a big thing. It's like a hell sweep, as fast as a hell sweep, but gets you as much mileage as a launcher, right? Without any wall.
Yeah.
We have to see it at some point.
It's pretty much the safest bet that he can use, maybe in the thick of things in the later stages of this best of 7 itself. We'll be able to actually witness it along the way, and hopefully, you know, he does not switch up to Bakuram or something else.
Yeah, because he's really making this Leroy work, and that's really important. But will we see a character switch coming from UAE side? That's a whole other question we haven't brought up.
Yeah.
So, is it going to be Hwoarang again?
Based on what you mentioned, yep, it's going to be pretty much the same ordeal that we'll be witnessing again. So this time in Helipad at night once more.
Yeah, Helipad night. Slight music change. It's less obnoxious in my... Wait, it's more obnoxious in my opinion.
I think it's decent. It's decent.
The Tekken 7 soundtrack has its up and downs. But right now, we're back at G-Corp. 2 breakable walls either side, right? And here we go, the match starting off. Kyrgyzstan wants his turn. There we go. There's that 4-3 punish right there. I haven't seen a bunch of that.
Oh, boy.
Chick throw right there. Good stuff.
Now, here we switching this each sides.
Yeah. Oh, great punish on the 4-4-4.
Oh, man. Just gets him off right there. And now pins him to the wall already. And he'll be able to actually get those highs right in. Immediately stopping him out, and only a tick of health left. He's going to be looking to put him to sleep.
Yeah, and he tries to go for the 10 comma right there. Really, really funny to end that on the string.
What a beauty.
Okay, so there's that hell sweep, quote unquote. Got him checking mid. Oh, he gets the launcher. This is the wall break. The wall, no, not clean enough. Back one, get me out of here. Don't want to play anymore. Just back one out of here.
Getting under perfect 7 golden words on the side of UAE. And now they're going to be flipping things around. He says, get off of me.
Yeah, great
resetting
it. Okay, that wall break is a potential right there, but pushing his way back out, back to mid stage. Okay, back one. Gonna have to do something about that.
Oh boy.
Okay, there's the string right there. 10 comma.
Regaining the defense already, and there's no way of escaping all the highs and lows that he's been putting up with.
And that's where Hwoarang really shines, being able to get into the stances, right foot forward, right foot standing, left foot standing, and just being able to just tap the opponent. He doesn't. There's no way to like fully combo off of certain strings unless it's counter hit. But in that situation, the opponent's put in enough pressure where he can't exactly just press any button to get out. He has to sort of make a guess on he's going to do this after this string and pull the trigger on it. And unfortunately, it has not been working out for Kyrgyzstan right there. Like before in the last game, he was getting good enough, getting the wall standing launchers and all that, but it was just not going to work out there. And just like that, it's equalized already 2-2.
Yeah, then previously we just saw like they were trying to grapple each other off, and pretty much great counters overall to just reset the balance. And I just felt that, you know, he just got to try to predict some of all these moves out there to be able to actually get at least
just something, right?
Yeah, just something right there.
The throw breaking in this game is actually kind of interesting. Hwoarang has a command throw right there, quarter circle back 3, and he's been using that quite a bit. And we've only seen one break on it. We've only seen Kyrgyzstan break that throw once. But he needs to put in that mind game that he's ready for it. But it's very hard to be ready for so many tools and options, because that's what UAE is doing really well. He's exploring out all the options that Hwoarang has and making it very hard for Kyrgyzstan to guess. And at this point, we can only react so much, even on online, even offline. So he just has to guess. And it's unfortunate, but guess right, half your health is gone. So do you want to keep doing that?
And I guess that for the side of UAE, they were just avoiding that parry to come right through. So it's just really a smart move to do for the Hwoarang to be able to just find that leeway and finally pull one back on their side.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kyrgyzstan couldn't set up to do the parry because he can only do them in certain stances or certain parts in neutral, but he can't, even then the neutral parry, he can't just parry every single thing. The stance will always parry the lows, and the mids, yes, but mids and highs, but not the lows. So he has to be very careful on when he uses which parry, and he has been having a lot of trouble trying to set it up. Will we see a character change from here? We don't know, though.
Well, we're about to find out, and we'll be sticking to the same old, and we're going to Abandoned Temple.
Yeah, back to Abandoned Temple. walls are a bit wider here, a bit more room to play around with, but both characters having just enough to be able to push each other to the wall. So it's still pretty even in my opinion.
Yeah, I gotta say the same as well. And the last time we saw, pretty much both of them look pretty comfortable in this map itself.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be looking towards getting into game, and well, this is gonna be an interesting start.
Yep.
We already see
Hell sweep right away.
yeah.
Run throw. Gotta break those. Spring kick. Nice. Low follow up. Caught him pressing a button on wake up. Okay, backing away. You have the life lead. Think about it. Don't try to go in. Okay, no punish right there. Here's the guessing. There we go. Good parry on that. Okay.
Already T2 on each side, and less health left on the side of Sultan.
Yeah.
It's going to be finding a little bit more room right there, but oh
Back
my!
one.
Good recovery.
Okay, plus frames. What's Warren gonna do? He tried to do something fancy there. There's the punish on back one, but no capitalization off of it. And there we go. Kyrgyzstan actually taking that game. Oh, that could have been so big. He got the back one punish. Managed to step out of it.
Man, could have pretty much hit it off right there. And Sultan starting off great, lifting up in the air. He might just be able to go in for that perfect run once again, and there we have it.
Back one, gonna be able to finish it off. Does not get the wall combo, but he still does it. Still does back one. Back one again.
Oh man, how many times will he get punished for that?
Yeah, he needs to figure out an answer for back one. But there we go. We have a float, but drop combo doesn't look too good. Okay, saw the low coming. Low into parry. All right. There's the punish. Wall.
Oh, he's pretty much stuck for the moment. He's going to be able to actually get some rage out. But he's going to be able to actually trade right back. Half of his health is already gone, and oh my, there's the block.
Yeah, and 443 is going to land a clean wall splat. This could be a lot of damage. Goes for 443 again. Okay. What's it? Okay, no. Okay, good. He didn't pull the trigger. Whiff on the back one. He goes for the unsafe thing. No.
Oh!
That was going to be a mid. There was no way he was going to duck that. Only if that move was faster, he would have taken it. But right now, UAE is looking at a match point right here.
Wow. This is by a couple of inches at the very least.
Yeah, a couple frames.
Now, Kyrgyzstan under pressure. They got to do something right now, and they got to do it quick.
Yeah, good follow-up on the combo. Managed to pull the trigger and realizing hit. Good. Wall standing punish. Going to get the wall. Right there. Okay. Clean wall spot, but too far away to capitalize. The struggle right there. He does back one again. No throw break. Rage Stride is on Kyrgyzstan. What's he going to do? There it is, the Rage Stride. Oh. He's going to get the wall. Clean wall splat. This is it. Oh, right there.
Beautiful stuff. Now, another final round coming in the way.
Each consecutive game going to final round. Except that last one. That was a round, no round round, though.
Yeah, that was a straight-up trio.
Get the low poke. Now we're seeing a lot more patient play coming from Sultan. Okay, there, block low. Wall standing punish. This is what we want. Oh, no, but a drop combo.
Oh, he's got to get some more out of this one. Sultan pushes him all the way back, smacks him to the ground. He misses a couple of all
that. The mid power crush, no big hit. Okay, follow up throw. Oh, counter hit sweep. Not fast enough to get the rage try follow up. Okay, two more light pokes, and it's gonna take it. But one big combo coming from Sultan, and we'll take it as well. And there we go, down one. Oh man. Okay, so
this is nerve-wracking. I couldn't even get my words out. I'm just enjoying what I see, and wow. Kyrgyzstan now getting that lead off. It's 3-2.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see from Tekken. Every Tekken game, you cannot let your opponent just simply press buttons. And there we saw Kyrgyzstan punishing everything accordingly. Blocking low, seeing that it's launch punishable, going for the wall standing punish, something Leroy is very good at. And it's just that he's not getting the most out of these wall damage combos. And that's what we need to see a bit more. But if he just keeps up this punish game, he could take it.
Yeah, we can see evidently that a whole lot of all these sort of punishes, pinning them out there, and the back one really been causing him quite a lot at the very least. But yeah, hey, he managed to get the rounds back.
Yeah, so until there's a solid answer to back one, I feel like it's still anybody's game. Because that back one is going to be something poor ranks everywhere will do a lot. That back one is a very scary button. It's going to be able to sidestep and just get out, and whether he's ready for it. We only saw it whiff once, I think, and only punished once.
Yeah.
If we see some more of that, then we can safely say like who this game is favoring more. But in the end, still anybody's game. and it has been showing. Final round, final round, final round. One clean round, but it's still close.
Yeah, I think they're looking neck and neck right now, and both are really hungry to qualify to the next rounds with the rest of the world as well on board. So this is going to be pretty much tough to decide. It's kind of like the flip of a coin.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Tekken in the long set, is because no matter who you're playing, given a set long enough, it's gonna be difficult because you can't just do the same thing over and over again. You're gonna get punished for it. And sooner or later, that back one punish is gonna come out, and those low punishes, they're gonna see more of them because as time goes on, these players are gonna get more acclimated to each other.
That's right, and I believe that we're getting ready for our next matchup right here. Pretty much same characters?
Same characters and the same level as well. It's been two of my favorite levels so far, Abandoned Temple and Jungle Outpost too. I really like this.
Yeah, I love it as well. Like there's a fair share of balance at the very least. That both all of these maps pretty much same circumferences of areas.
Yeah, Jungle Outpost a bit shorter, but that balcony break is a threatening thing compared to Abandoned Temple because whoever gets that balcony break is going to be there's going to be a wall break on the other side, and both these characters do quite decently on the wall. Leroy a bit more, in my opinion.
Oh boy.
Starting off with the throw.
Man, going to be switching things up already, and that's a quick beat coming in from the side of Tim. DJ Kyrgyzstan so far taking over control, and will be sending him straight up the air, swooping him down once again.
Yep, he needs to watch his feet.
Oh boy. Might be punished again, and it's going to be the forearm trading right back at him.
Okay, there's the stance. Goes for the mid follow-up. Thought he was going to do something else. Okay, he went for the down one. There's punish. I like what Kyrgyzstan's doing. He's adapting. He's actually waiting for Hwoarang to actually whiff, so he's standing back and just chilling out and just watching Sultan very carefully.
Yeah, now Sultan actually missing it off. This is going to be very big prize for him to play, and my goodness, he's just flipping him all over the place. He might just be taking him that off.
Back one can't save you forever, and that one jab trades over there.
I couldn't even get my words straight for that moment.
Yeah, it's just things are going by really fast, and he found his answer with the parry, but honestly that 3-4 power crush can be ducked and launch punish, but whether he's ready for that is another thing. It's good enough that he's reacting with parry. Okay, sidestep, wasn't confident with the button, does not punish.
Punch. Oh, back one again. Oh my.
Oh, he does the launcher, but does not follow up.
Yeah, I thought that he will be able to connect the swallow, but it does not really matter anymore. Another clean pound coming in for Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
And my goodness.
Okay, it looks like Kyrgyzstan has UAE's number right now. He's playing the game where we're mostly comfortable with. We understand Tekken to be a heavy whiff punish game, heavy movement game. And what Kyrgyzstan is doing, he's creating the space, walking back, and just watching UAE very carefully, just making sure that whatever he's doing, it's over there. And as soon as he gets close, it's going to be a punish. And it's been a really clean game on that so far. Whether we see UAE adjust carefully is a whole other question.
Yeah, and it seems like he's been having the gas pretty much going pretty low at the moment. So
yeah,
with a 2-point lead right now, this is going to be a little bit worrisome for the side of UAE.
Yeah, at this point, if I was a Hwoarang player, I'd be thinking carefully about what my button choices are, because right now it's not working out. Yeah. 4-4-4 is good. His back one hasn't been fully punished, but it looks like Kyrgyzstan is thinking and adjusting properly. He is writing it down. He is adjusting correctly, and it is showing right now. 2-game lead, it's adding up.
Yeah, and we've been looking at very good defenses coming in from the Leroy as well. We're going to be looking at the scores for the moment as well. So this is going to be pretty much 4-2 in favor of Kyrgyzstan. Yeah,
and it's 4 matches well fought for on Kyrgyzstan's behalf. Now, the first time UAE fought with Kyrgyzstan, UAE came on top. But again, as the longer the set goes, they have more time to adjust, and it's definitely showing on Kyrgyzstan's side. 2-4 right now. UAE definitely not down and out of it, though.
Yeah, and of course, the best of 7 bouts, it's going to be pretty much a tough ordeal. But, of course, congratulations to Kyrgyzstan.
And it's a best
they
of 7.
Definitely will be going to Eilat, Israel for the championship run.
Yeah, so again, yeah, that was the 4. That was it. Sorry, I got a bit too excited. Those games were getting really good. But yeah, again, Kyrgyzstan, congrats. You came on top. And those points are going to change soon because that was a 4-2 right there. That was a 2-game lead over UAE, and it really showed where it mattered, showed in the grand finals right there. Even though UAE took it over the first game that they've ever played. But there it is, Kyrgyzstan coming out on top. So big congrats to Kyrgyzstan. Now tomorrow, Southeast Asia is tomorrow. So be sure to catch that. We're going to have Brunei, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam fighting for that single slot available.
Any sort of powerhouses that you know that are going to be playing for each respective country?
I know some of the D rival guys over in Indonesia, so I'm actually concerned whether they're going to be playing it at all, but we can never discount Philippines. Philippines, Tekken is their bread and butter. It's what they eat every day. It is the fighting game they play. So I'm also very careful to see who I see for Philippines, but that's not counting anybody out. This will be the first time I see a Vietnamese player play in for Tekken 7, so I kind of want to see what they have.
Yeah, there might just be dark horses coming into the Southeast Asia bouts, but of course, we'll like to actually thank all our sponsors, of course, for providing us a perfect platform for all the best players in the world to play their hearts out and, well, do the honors.
So, yeah, so big thank you to Eilat, Escape the Sun, the host city and main sponsor for this tournament, Maccabi World Union, main hosting partner, Israeli Esports Association, main hosting partner, and MCST, IESF partner. Thank you guys so much for being able to host this tournament and throw it out there. I know there's some technical issues here and there, but this has been a great experience overall. I've been happy to commentate for all of you, and it's been great commentating with you, dude.
And of course, it's a great honor to be casting alongside with you as well. And, well, with that being said, we definitely congratulate Kyrgyzstan once again for making such a huge splash.
Yeah, he's going to take that single slot and move further into the Asian qualifier. And I believe that's all our matches for today, seeing how it is over for Central Asia and Middle East. So again, guys, thank you so much. We will see you tomorrow for Southeast Asia.